My hands were shaking, my voice was cracking, and I was sitting in a conference room with maybe 8 people around the table. It was not a stadium, it was not a stage, a meeting room, and I could barely get my word out. Fast forward to today. I have spoken in front of thousands of people, run over 100 webinars, and that journey didn't just make me a better speaker, it completely changed how I lead. If I had never forced myself to get up and speak, none of that happens. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what changed for me and what public speaking can unlock for you as an association leader. Let's get into it. I was early in my career, sitting in team meetings, and even just being asked to give a quick update would send my heart racing. Cold room, sweaty palms, voice doing that thing where it goes up a pitch when you're nervous. And the worst part, I knew my stuff. It wasn't that I didn't have anything to say, it was the idea of people waiting for me to stumble that froze me. A lot of association leaders feel exactly this way. You might be great at your job, great one-on-one, but the moment someone hands you a mic, everything changes. The discomfort you feel, that's not a sign you're not a leader. That's a sign you're about to become one. So what pushed me to start? It was my business coach. He said, "You have so much knowledge in your space, but no one knows about it." He was right. I had spent years working with associations, solving real problems, but I was keeping it all inside. No one outside my existing clients knew what I could do. He didn't say get better at presenting. He just said start. So I did my first webinar. It was rough. I talked too fast, stumbled a few times, over-prepared the slides and under-prepared my nerves. But then someone asked a question and I just answered it naturally, like I was talking to a client across the table. And that's when it clicked. After a few webinars, I started noticing something. When I focused on the problem and the material, all the nervousness just disappeared. After all those years working with associations, my superpower was solving association problems with technology. The speaking wasn't the thing. The problem solving was the thing. Speaking was just how I delivered it. You're not nervous because you don't know enough. You're nervous because you're focused on yourself instead of the problem in front of you. The moment you shift your focus to the problem and your audience, the spotlight moves off you. Here's something that surprised me. I have an extroverted personality and I actually hated sales calls. The cold pitching, the convincing, it felt uncomfortable. Webinars changed that because a webinar is not a sales call. It's a problem-solving session. You're showing up with real value and letting people decide. My nervousness around sales went away when I stopped doing sales and started doing education. Once I started doing more webinars, I noticed it was changing how I operated every single day, not just on stage. First, it forced me to talk to people. You can't prepare good content without knowing what your audience actually cares about. So I started having real conversations with clients and members. That habit of listening made me a better leader. Second, it made me think more clearly. You can't say everything on stage. You have to pick what matters. That discipline of getting to one clear message started showing up in my meetings, my emails, and my decisions. Third, it made me research problems more deeply. Every talk I gave, I went deep into the problems associations were actually dealing with: retention, engagement, governance, technology. And that research shaped our product. Features we built in Member Lounge came directly from things I heard while preparing for a talk. Stay with me, because what happened when I started bringing guests into my webinars is the part that surprised me the most. I started inviting high-profile guests onto my webinars and podcast, leaders and thinkers in the association space, and a lot of them said yes. But here's the part I loved most. Sometimes we would pose a problem live and just work through it together in front of the audience. No script, no rehearsed answer. Just two people thinking out loud, and we would land on solutions neither of us had thought of before we started talking. That fed something intellectual in me that I didn't expect. And the audience could feel it too because it was real. Don't just create content alone. Invite people into the conversations. Some of your best events will be the ones where you didn't fully know where it was going to go. I want to be direct about this. Getting comfortable speaking publicly helped us generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in business. Not because I was selling from the stage, but because when you show up consistently and share ideas that help people, they remember you. Your members are watching, your board is watching, sponsors and partners are watching. Every time you speak with clarity and confidence, you're building trust, and trust drives membership growth, event attendance, and partnerships. The leaders who grow their organizations are almost always the ones willing to be visible. Not perfect, not polished, just consistent. Member Lounge was basically built on conversations that started because of speaking. While preparing talks, I kept hearing the same frustrations, clunky websites, members who never log in, engagement that falls off right after someone joins. I wasn't looking to build a product, but I kept hearing the same pain over and over. And because speaking had forced me to listen and research before I opened my mouth, I recognized the pattern. The speaking came first, the listening came from the speaking, the product came from the listening. If I had stayed quiet and kept my head down, Member Lounge wouldn't exist the way it does today. What can you do today? You don't need to book a keynote this week. You just need to start somewhere. Say yes to the next small opportunity, the board update, the member welcome call. Those count. Do one webinar this quarter. Pick one problem your members face and talk about it for 30 minutes. You will learn more from that than from months of planning, and stop waiting until you're ready. Readiness is a trap. You get ready by doing it. The first one is awkward. The fifth one is easier. By the 20th, you'll wonder why you even waited so long. Public speaking didn't just make me better on stage. It made me better at leading, listening, and building something people actually need. If you have been avoiding the mic or telling yourself you're not a speaker, I want to challenge that. You have something worth saying. Your members need to hear from you. Start small, start messy, just start. Hit subscribe for weekly videos on leadership, member engagement, and building associations that last. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest fear about speaking in front of your members or board? I read all the comments. I'll see you on the next one.